Hi everybody, this is Plywood, and I'm coming at you with a crazy taxi run on arcade default settings. This is my first crazy ranking with over $20,000 dues in earnings for this run. So, a little bit of background on why I did this. I played this game quite a bit as a kid. Always found this game very fun and charming. And the thing that's really cool about this game is even if you don't know the mechanics of the game or what to do in terms of the routing, you can still have a lot of fun in this game because particularly at that time when this game came out on Dreamcast, it was a very free roaming, free form game. You know, if you want to just sit around and not pick up customers, you can. You choose who you want to pick up, and the conditions of the road and the traffic and sometimes where the customer takes you are not static. So you always have to make adjustments.
Come on, let's go. All right.
So I've been really interested in getting better at this game just because it is just a ton of fun. And at first, it just kind of seems like a basic game of pick up a customer, get them to the place. But underneath that simple concept is actually quite a bit of complexity. So first off, let's just talk about difficulty. I am playing on the default settings, which if you're playing on arcade, I suppose the default dip switches are 50 seconds game time, for difficulty time, for difficulty traffic. So it's all default normal, and default normal I would say is actually fairly difficult because some of the fares, the time limits involved are actually pretty tight. The goal with every fare is try to drop them off as quickly as possible, roughly speaking. Because while we want to drive through traffic to increase our tips and, you know, do jumps and all that, ultimately you want to just keep on adding to your game time. Time is really your enemy in this game more than anything, and so controlling for time is important. So as long as you get to the destination before the timer hits, I believe around 8 seconds, about 8, 7, you will get speedy and you'll gain more time. And of course, the faster you get there, the better your overall game time is going to be. But as long as you're adding or kind of maintaining your time, that's pretty good. Now the problem is, especially when you get to the downtown area, is that you can really ruin your game and just sort of get trapped taking crappy fares that get you stuck in a bad situation, and then you run out of time and that's your game. The goal of the game, so to speak, or the way you want to play it, is to do laps around this huge San Francisco-esque map. But the game really tries its best to force you to go backwards. So, even though I haven't even talked about the mechanics, like the nitty-gritty details of the skills involved, in reality, the most important thing for you to know is how to play the map. If you want to get 20,000 on default, you have to know how to play this map. You need to know what the best routes are, broadly speaking, to get from one place to another, what customers to pick up when there are certain colors, Sometimes you can also just like manipulate the customers by driving far away and then coming back. But ultimately, like, I try to avoid that as much as possible because the time being spent to do that, unless you really have no options, which isn't going to happen unless you're really going for high scores, I just try to pick up customers as much as possible. And we try, at least I try, to get the greener customers whenever possible, unless the customer is going a place I want to go. Sometimes you don't want to pick up a green customer because they'll send you all the way back, and I feel like from playing this game and trying to get this goal of 20,000, oftentimes when you have to go backwards, not every spot on the map, but a lot of places on the map, it's way worse going backwards than forwards. It seems to me that the game is designed around the idea of you just doing laps. Going backwards is something you eventually have to do if you're trying to go for all the customers, or even 50% of the customers, which I believe it's about 200 plus customers or so. But if you're just trying to get this goal, you don't need to worry about that so much. So let's actually talk about mechanics a bit. And Crazy Taxi, you have your reverse gear and your drive gear. And if you hold the drive gear, it's essentially a handbrake. So pretty much all the mechanics in this game revolve around you shifting from reverse to drive and timing it with your brakes and gas. So the main thing is the crazy dash and what's called a limiter cut. So you go into reverse, then wait like a quarter second, and then pop it into drive, and then hit the gas afterwards. And you chain those together. That's how you go super fast. And on straightaways, you want to be doing that. You want to be doing these dashes and limiter cuts most of the time. But you need to be aware that the physics of the car changes when you do that. And of course, it's going to feel different depending on what vehicle you're driving, because there's 4 different characters, plus the bicycles. You can ride in a pedicab if you want. I play as Gus, and Gus is just, in my opinion, I mean, I haven't played too much Axel. I just kind of ignored Axel, except when I was a kid. Loved Axel, of course, because he had the green hair. So cool. In my opinion, Gus is just a generically good car to play this game at a high level with. And by high level, I just mean trying to get like crazy rank. That's not literally a high level. High level Crazy Taxi players are a different breed. They just really, really love this game to the point of, playing it for doing a 2-hour run and going for high scores. Gus just has a nice heavy car so he can beat up traffic if traffic gets in your way, which is a constant problem with the default traffic. He doesn't have good acceleration or deceleration, but because of how crazy dashes work and mechanics around slowing yourself down, you can work around this. He has a small car, which is smaller car, which is great. And even when you're limited cutting, however you want to put it, and doing those speed ups, this car is fairly easy to control. Some of the other vehicles, it's really easy to get thrown off when you're at the high speeds and the physics changes. Very helpful little technique is that reverse. dash, so instead of holding, you know, you press drive and then accelerate, typically for driving forward, but if you want to do it backwards, you do that, drive into accelerate, and then switch to reverse. Now sometimes I'm doing it and I really shouldn't be doing it, like I should just spin in place and then drive, but if there's a customer right behind you, it's very helpful, because you know, spinning 180 is pretty slow, which is the other reason why going backwards is so bad. Like, you know, you're gonna spend over a second just rotating your car, and rotating your car is a waste of time. Same with making sure you're close to the customer as much as possible when you pick them up. It feels counterintuitive to like slow down as you approach a customer, and then rather than just like zoom in and get into their circle, but the act of them walking to your car, you know, that can honestly be like 4 seconds of them walking to the car. So spending a second or two getting close to the customer, not spooking them too far away, is way better than being like, oh, I got into the circle so fast. Plus, because Gus's deceleration is not great, this will happen from time to time in this run. I just go too far and end up having to pull back, or I force the customer to run to me, which is not ideal. One thing you'll see me do, as I was mentioning it a little bit there, was spinning in place. The way you do that is by going into reverse, at least I do, and then holding the drive button, and you can spin in place, which is very effective for either dropping off a customer or to rotate in a certain direction. Incidentally, that's also how you do drifts, is by holding drive, which again is like a handbrake. It's both how you go forward, and it's also your handbrake. It's a bit confusing. Like in an actual car, your gear shifter is not a handbrake. Handbrake is an additional thing you need to manage. In Crazy Taxi, things are a bit weird. But even though the controls are simpler, you have to understand how to manage them. Nice tree. Very nice tree. So yeah, you do crazy drifts with holding that drive. I don't typically go for a lot of drifts other than to get a little bit of points as I'm dropping people off sometimes. Generally speaking, you can just drive normally. You don't need to drift around corners. I think there's a few places where I should do a crazy drift around a corner, but generally speaking, it's not necessary. It's more for getting points. And as long as you have a good handle on your car, you don't really need to drift most of the time. What else about driving this dang thing? Well, it's worth mentioning that sometimes the physics in this game really do get pretty crazy. Things sometimes can just kind of break. You'll hit a car, you'll fly off in a certain direction depending on when you were boosting, and you just can easily lose control of things. These little trips downtown, the timing is really, really tight. And you really got to know, like, who to pick up and when, depending on the patterns here. If you want to learn how to drive in Crazy Taxi, the Crazy Taxi map that is, there's some great resources on the web that will help you do that, along with some really helpful videos on YouTube, so that you have an idea of like, okay, where are people going first, what customers are they picking up, etc. Just knowing like where the hidden customers are, which I believe there's 3 really good hidden customers, and then there's some customers that I would sort of classify as hidden. They're not like amazing, but they're not, they're good. Here at the lookout tower, I always try to pick up the yellows first. It's not necessarily the best strategy. You should actually like know how to like route all these customers, but for the purposes of just getting 20,000, you don't need to be completely optimal in your customer routing. You just need to know how to pick up good customers and then just get your money fast enough with those laps. And then when you're at the tennis court here, you only want to pick up customers if they're orange. Ideally. Only when they're orange. Which sometimes you can just get screwed and there's no orange customers. I will say that like if you do go backwards, it's not the end of the world. So like here, I'm gonna have to go backwards to Crown Arena, which is not great, but if you pick up a bad customer on those slopes by the fire station, you could end up going all the way back to the bank, which is the first business area. And honestly, anytime you have to go backwards that far, it just sucks because this area right here, this 3-tiered left, right, and then underpass thing is difficult to manage. And sometimes, you know, part of being good at this game on default is managing the traffic. Here's another hidden customer it's very good to pick up. Sometimes vehicles will just be sitting on the side of the road and you have to avoid them, or a bus is coming and you need to change your line. So even though there are quote-unquote good lines, better lines, optimal lines, naturally, sometimes you'll just see, oh wait, there's a bus coming. I can't go that way. I need to swerve out of the way. So flexibility and improvisation is important, especially when things don't go your way with the customers, so that you can keep on adding to your time total. So here, instead of popping into like the crazy reverse, I actually spin and then pick up the guy. I think with people who are like 90 degrees to you, it's better to do that, even if they're behind you. Or, I mean, they wouldn't be 90 degrees, but sort of 90 degrees-ish. Crazy reverse probably should only be for really directly reversal stuff, where they're directly behind you. But this is just this is how I'm feeling after doing this and working at it. There are some really phenomenal Crazy Taxi players that you can find on YouTube who will just love these games. I still have not played Crazy Taxi 2 or 3. I popped in Crazy Taxi 2 recently just to like give it a shot, see how it felt. And on initial glance, it seems fine, but I will say that it does not seem like the map is quite as fun as this one. And I don't mean like in terms of design, because I can't really comment on that. I just mean in terms of the visuals. Part of what makes this game special, in my opinion, is aesthetically speaking, it's such a bright, colorful game. And it's one of those things that the Dreamcast did so well.
Let's roll.
It's just this sort of popping, colorful aesthetic. It's very sharp. And yeah, sometimes the performance in this game isn't the best, and there's popping and whatnot, but I think it still looks pretty good for what it does, and the environments are pretty damn detailed. I love this church because there's like 5 identical reverends who work at this one church, which does not have a driveway, so you have to drive onto the grass. So apparently if there's yellow customers over here, they always go forward, supposedly. Don't take my word for it. But I mean, it worked this time, so that's what counts. I'm not going backwards. This parking lot is pretty nice, but sometimes the parked cars are not ideal. So this is a great spot for crazy reverses. You want to default to those first if they're there, and then pick up the people closer to the highway. They're typically more green, so you get more time and therefore bigger fares. There's some sort of like formula on how much money you'll get as a bonus at the end of your fare, depending on how much time has elapsed in the fare. So you get a little bonus. But if you really want like big money, you want to keep your combo going as much as possible. Look at that taxi trying to run into ours. But guess what? I have plot armor. You can't push my car forward while I'm picking up a customer. Thankfully it works like that. I can't even imagine like a bus just comes and the taxi just flies off in the distance. The other fun thing about this game, I think there's some of this in Taxi 2, but the branding on, oh, I need to go to the KFC, the Pizza Hut, Levi's, the original Levi's store. It gives the game, it makes it feel more real, which is weird because obviously this game is so unrealistic. If you start driving like a crazy taxi, you're gonna have some problems on the road. So that'll be my first attempt trying to pick up that hidden punk on the roof. It's really, like, I sometimes just have trouble picking up that customer. It's easy to undershoot the roof or do too much power and then, like, fly off the roof. And because the surface of the roof that the punk is sitting on is angular, it just screws with the physics. But picking him up means you're going to be able to go all the way towards the fire station. So there's a case where I just nearly had Speedy, and then I had just a slight kerfuffle on parking. And again, here, the margin for error sometimes, I mean, there is a margin for error. They don't, unless you're on like the highest difficulty time, and I'm sure there's practically no margin. You won't catch me playing that. But even on default, like, while there is a margin, it's not huge. The game becomes pretty demanding, and naturally, the reason why it's demanding is because this is an arcade game, they want people to get off the cabinet. It's designed to get people moving off the cabinet, but if you know what you're doing, you could play this game for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 plus minutes. If you're really adept at knowing the map and how to play the game. And there is a Crazy Taxi cabinet nearby me, which is a sit-down. There's a stand-up cabinet and a sit-down cabinet. They have a sit-down cabinet. And I'm curious about trying it out, of course, and seeing, now that I know all these mechanics and techniques of how to chain together limiter cuts and crazy reverse, yada yada, like how would I do on the wheel. On the cabinet, you have a shifter, brakes, and gas, and a fairly small wheel, which makes sense because you're not supposed to be driving the wheel with two hands, because you're supposed to basically always have your right hand on the gear shifter, or at least near it, basically. And I don't know if I'd be able to get 20k on my first time. I would have to get used to how it feels, and plus it's possible that when I played on a wheel, I would prefer playing as Gina or BD Joe. I'm not sure. It's possible, just because this game feels really great to play on controller. And obviously it's way less exhausting than having to use your feet to control reverse, not reverse and drive, brakes and gas. So it is definitely a different kind of skill to manage it with the wheel. But I'm excited to give it a go sometime. I think I'd be able to get at least 10k on my first go, if I can remember what customers pick up. So, something that I didn't really notice until I started playing this game at this level, and it's a small thing I really appreciate about the design, is when you drop off a customer, the camera angle shifts a couple of times, and it shows you a view around your taxi. And in reality, what that does is it allows you to look around your taxi to see the customers. So sometimes when I'm playing, I'm like really trying to look closely at this view to see, like, okay, is there anyone nearby I should pick up? So that's a little detail that, while it looks cool, like the camera's like swinging around, it's very cinematic, it actually has a gameplay purpose. Very thoughtful design. So I'm just gonna like try to find a customer here. The double green is what you're looking for, except on the hospital set. So if they're double green, you pick up the one in front, and then that'll push you forward. Eventually, you'll run out of those customers, and I wouldn't default to those first. You want to try to pick up the customers on the outside of that interior diamond in the business district. And just 2 seconds short. Just and part of what's so I don't know what the word would be, addicting about this game, I suppose, is you always feel like you could squeeze just a little bit more performance out of how you're driving, how you're playing, in terms of how you interact with the traffic. How can you get better at driving with your vehicle? When should you boost? When should you not?
Just drive.
Okay, better hang on.
So when you get a normal rather than a speedy, you're like, ah,
Let's go.
what could I have done? Like it should have been possible. Maybe you could get really screwed over by the traffic, but
I can't handle.
I would say most of the time there's probably a way to manage it.
Hop in.
So I was pretty happy with how far I was getting. I was like, oh man, I'm already at 24K. So I'm just cleaning up downtown, getting some of these customers. But the problem is going to come that I'm going to try and get this punk again and fail staying on the roof. And that's pretty much the end of my game, where I get bounced off of structures. The structures are a really great way to stop your car, but they could also really ruin your way. There I go. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I need a new customer. Which I really should have just picked up her, the one that I drove by, honestly, because the thing you really don't want is a situation where your time is low. So like I know like I'm not gonna get there in time at this point unless I'm playing out of my mind. When you're low time, it means there's no cushion with your fare. If there's no cushion with your fare, you're probably not gonna get speedy. That's why you want to just continuously build your cushion while you're playing the game. And we get there, but just not quite in time.
This is taking forever.
59 customers.
Crazy. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Crazy taxi.
Crazy taxi.
Amazing. I was very happy to get this run. And of course, you could always do better, right? You can always try to push it a bit further. But my main thing was just knowing that I could do this and get familiar with this map. I've done a lot of speed runs, and Crazy Taxi kind of leans itself in on that sort of structure of gameplay. It's your routing, it's getting places fast, it's knowledge, it's practice, it's everything. Even though this game has a fair bit of luck, ultimately it's a very skill-oriented game and experience-related game. And that's part of why I think this game is wonderful, is even if you're new, you can have fun, and even if you're a vet, you can have fun. So, appreciate everyone for watching this video. Hope you learned a bit, and you all have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves.
Okay, beat your own record next time. See ya. Game over.